How's it going, everybody? This is Tyler Evans, and I just wanted to come up on here and kind of make a YouTube video doing a debrief, kind of just telling the story from my perspective and my point of view, and kind of explaining what happened, what went wrong, how I handled it, and how we got in this situation. So what I'm talking about is the golf course landing at the Riviera Country Club down in the Pacific Palisades, Los Angeles. So this started just like every normal day, going on a flight. I had a buddy fly down from North Carolina who was a coworker of mine. We were working in an aircraft maintenance shop at Dillon's Aviation in Greenville, North Carolina. And we became very close friends. So he's never been to California before. So he was coming down, and we're going to go down to Santa Monica and get lunch. And just, he wanted to see down south the LA area. So we took off, I forgot exactly what time, sometime in the morning, and we were cruising down there 9,500 feet in my grandfather's 1966 172 G model. Flight went good. There was a little bit of an overcast layer down south, so we descended, but no problem getting in, VFR. The ceiling was about 3,000 feet, so it was no problem at all. So what went wrong? This is what everybody wants to know. And I'm not embarrassed to say it. I think as a pilot, you need to admit your faults, and other people can learn from it because it happens more than you think. So on our descent from 9,500 down to about 3,000, I had the power pulled back. And what I didn't do was apply carb heat. So usually if you're building up ice in a carbureted airplane, you could tell you're building up ice because you'll start to see an RPM drop. Everybody knows that. And you usually catch it pretty quick. But the problem was I pulled the power back, did not pull carb heat, and since I had the power pulled back, it was difficult to notice an RPM drop, and let alone it wasn't on my mind, which I know, stupid, very dumb of me, something I'll never forget again. So if you look at my flight path, which I know a lot of people have, you'll start to see me make some turns. I was just getting vectored around by approach, so that was out of my control. I went to go apply power back in. I was about 7 miles out from the airport, north of the airport, and there was nothing there. And a few seconds later, after I tried to put power in, the plane died. So being close to the ground, we're probably 1,000 feet above the ground. I tried to restart it as fast as I could, and I wasn't getting nothing. Immediately started looking around for places to land, because if you know what LA looks like, there's not many good spots to make an emergency landing. It's very, very populated. There's buildings everywhere. It's kind of rugged terrain. There's a lot of mountains and hills, and all the streets are kind of tight. There's a lot of cars, a lot of trees. So I saw a soccer field down to the left of me. And that was my first thought, was I might go into this soccer field. There's obstacles on both sides of this soccer field. There's tall trees on both sides, a short field, and there was also kids playing soccer on the field. So I really didn't want to land there. My passenger actually pointed out that he saw a golf course ahead. And as I was looking at this golf course, I didn't think I was going to be able to make it because it looked pretty far. And I have about, I'd say, a mile and a half to glide for every 1,000 feet of altitude. Looking at this golf course, it seemed just about a mile out, and I was around 800 feet above the ground at this time. So we ended up going for the golf course, pitched for best glide, and it was a miracle that we were able to make it. So once I knew I had the golf course made, dumped the flaps in, and you could see in the video how I kind of rudder kicked it, swung around the tree. And what I saw from my point of view after I did that was, you could see it in the video, to the left of me, there was like a little bathroom area, and there's a big fence with bushes growing on it. And then right to the right of me, where people were standing, there was about 5 golf carts parked and maybe 8 to 10 people standing there. So I had this little 50-foot corridor to go through, which was perfect, and they're kind of blocking the sand traps. So it was a miracle that everything worked out the way it did. It was pilot error, though. 90% of plane crashes are pilot error, and it's important for people to come out and talk about it. Yes, it's embarrassing. I'm probably going to get flamed in the comments. I did mention this in a few other videos that are up on the internet that it was pilot error. Everyone's been very nice and with their comments and remarks to me about the successful landing, which yes, but it's weird that this one got so much attention, and we're not really giving as much attention to all these other plane crashes that are happening so often. And one of the main reasons you guys are seeing plane crashes so often now is because it's kind of a hot topic for the news, and they're kind of getting clicks off of it. And I guess it is kind of spreading awareness because it happens often, and usually it ends up in tragedy. Thank God that we were able to make it out okay and nobody got hurt and the plane is fine. Regarding the plane, damage to the plane, a lot of people said that there was no damage. So yes, there is damage. If I'll play the video in this, but you could see the plane kind of hopping across the golf course, not soft terrain. And you can hear a loud bang in the video, and that was my tail smacking down on the cart path curb, and that ended up breaking the rear bulkhead, which the tail and horizontal stab connect to. Other than that tail section, we got to pull that off and reskin it, re-rivet it in, and get it repainted. And then that nose wheel fairing, which is no big deal, we already got a new one, that broke in half too. But other than that, that's pretty much the only damage. Some other questions people have asked is if the golf course is going to do anything. And I actually talked to one of the main execs there, and he said since there's no damage, he's gonna let us off. No, so there's nothing that we have to pay for on the golf course, and luckily we didn't make any big holes or divots or chew up the golf course at all, really. I want to give a massive thank you and shout out to the Riviera Golf Country Club for the hospitality. We were there for 2 days trying to get this plane apart. The first day was it was kind of a lot. It was just trying to take everything in. There's people everywhere. I didn't have the tools. I have no connections down in LA, so I was just trying to figure it out, who's going to come down with the trailer, how we're going to get this plane pulled apart. And thank goodness I had my buddy Seth with me, because he's a phenomenal aircraft mechanic. And when we were working together, we pulled the wings off some planes before and put them back together. So we had an idea what to do. We actually ended up going to Harbor Freight. We spent $250 on tools and came back to the golf course and pulled the plane apart. So we threw it on a trailer and drove it 6.5 hours back home, and it's still in the hangar right now. It should be getting picked up to get worked on any day now. Yeah, and I'll try to get some content of that, getting the plane put back together and the first flight. I just wanted to come on here and kind of clear the air on everything and answer any questions. That's kind of the main topics I have right now. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments below. And again, I just want to say we need to spread a little bit more awareness, I feel like, to all these other plane crashes. Juan Blancalirio, he does a phenomenal job covering a lot of these crashes, and Pilot Debrief, you might have seen, he has a very big YouTube channel. Hoover, if you're watching this, shout out Hoover. Yeah, they do a great job on covering plane crashes and mishaps and accidents and incidents and everything that happens. So we're lucky nothing happened. That could have been a lot worse if it would have happened a minute earlier or maybe a couple minutes later. Who knows what could have happened. I thank God every day that we ended up okay, because it's a scary situation. You just gotta keep your composure. One more thing, it's very important, practice all your emergency scenarios. Practice your simulated engine failures, pick a spot to land, pitch for best glide, navigate, aviate, communicate. It's the most important thing. But anyways, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. So thank you everybody for all your nice remarks and comments. I appreciate it.